Howdy guys, welcome to Should Be Right Garage. As usual, we've got our delays in making our videos. Nevertheless, we're back at it. As you recall, last time we were working on the F truck. We've repaired our cab, it's now rust free. We also mentioned that we want to look at doing some dry ice blasting. Now, some of the stuff we want to blast is going to include the chassis, the tray, the cab that we've stripped back, as well as all of our now rust-free panels. So of course, in order to do that, we're going to have to strip this truck completely bare. Got a lot of work ahead of us. Let's get involved. And just quickly guys, we've now got some merch available if you want to help support the channel. We've got them in 3 different colours and a whole bunch of sizes, and they're available for 45 bucks delivered anywhere in Australia. And of course, these are in conjunction with our other methods of support, including our PayPal account if you wish to donate directly, and of course our Will It Start content. We're always looking for new vehicles to get up and running. So make sure you check out our links in the description for all the details. And if you send us through a photo of you wearing our merch, we'll chuck that up in one of our videos as well. Back to our main content. First things first, we're going to strip the front end of the truck, then we'll disconnect the cab and tray, and we'll stitch Paulie up to help us remove the heavy items. Better? Yeah. So we've just had our shenanigans with the Christmas break and New Year's. Now that that's all over and done with and businesses are up and running again, we can look at sorting out our dry ice blasting. Now before we can do that, there's a few little things that we need to address. We've got some holes in the tray that need to be welded up. We're going to attempt that. We're also going to move on to the chassis. We've got a little bit of work there with the sway bar. We need to install a new bracket and a sway bar itself. We've got a gearbox that's weeping. I believe the torque converter seal and the actual pump itself is failing, so it'll be pulled out and replaced. We've also got a leaking steering box that needs a seal kit and a leaking water pump. Now of course all of those can be addressed more or less any time except for the tray. Either way, we've got a lot of work to do. Let's get involved. Right there we can see our reasoning for taking the gearbox out. Nice little puddle under the torque converter. Honestly, there's a lot of weeping everywhere. Dipstick tube's going to be redone. There's also a lot of weeping around the modulator and around the tail shaft extension housing. And over here we've got a split in our lines that has been repaired. So these are going to end up being replaced. And doubling up on that reasoning, you can see a twist up front for the radiator. And also a bunch of corrosion near the front as well. So we've got a new converter bush, pump seal, O-ring seal and gasket. And I actually reckon it's the O-ring seal that was our big problem, because it is incredibly dry and crusty. Look at that, so brittle. It's just snapping. That was our problem, I reckon. So we've got ourselves 2 days of dry ice blasting equipment hire here. And we're getting stuck into it straight away on this chassis. Initial thoughts are that everything's going pretty well on the engine and the gearbox. You can see the gearbox is cleaning up beautifully. As we keep on moving on, the engine's looking pretty good too. It's coming up quite well, however we're starting to notice a few of the shortfalls of this system. And the stark reality is that the dry ice blasting really is for cleaning only. I'm sure we've all seen those videos where alloys come up looking like brand new, anodised components coming up looking like brand new, and the simple reality is, unless those components look like that underneath all your grease and dirt, They're not going to come up like that under any circumstances with the dry ice. So we're dealing with a 40-plus-year-old truck, and if we take a closer look, for instance, at this brass from the hosing of the manifold, it's dull. It's definitely clean, but it hasn't shined it up in any way whatsoever. And that also starts to show when we look at a side-by-side comparison of the alternator, for instance. Whilst it's clean, it definitely hasn't shined up like a new item. And that shortfall becomes really evident when we start working on the tray. Once again, we can see that underneath and on top it's starting to get a little bit cleaner, but the simple fact of the reality is it doesn't shine it up the way that vapor blasting would do. And that's something we need to look at in the future, because essentially it's become a bit of a fail on that front. When it comes to mess, I made the mistake of not wearing this on the first day. You can see I'm absolutely covered in it in just a half a day's worth of work. So even though there's no real grit or anything like that that's being left behind, make no mistake, the garbage that you're removing from your vehicle is absolutely going to end up everywhere. Speaking of fails, I had great intentions of using hydrochloric acid to work on the cab in order to loosen that surface rust in the hope that the dry ice blasting would loosen it. The reality is it didn't do a darn thing. Didn't even bother to film any of that, it was simply a dud. So moving on to paint stripping, we used a bit of paint stripper on the inner guards. You can see that they come off quite quickly with the dry ice blasting method. But in saying that, anyone with a gurney or water pressure blaster can achieve essentially the same result. I didn't think the results were any better, and I think it certainly highlights a bit of an issue in terms of using the dry ice blasting method for either saving paint or removing it, because ultimately if we take a look at the fuel tank, particularly the front tank of the frame, you can see that it's come up pretty nice and shiny in its plated finish, and that's because it's actually ripped off all of the paint. The paint didn't sit on there very well, and as soon as we came along it ripped off. So if you have some paint that is not great, it is not going to stay there whilst dry ice blasting. And on that same token, if you've got some good paint, it is not coming off without the assistance of some sort of paint stripper. Now as we look at some of the other components that we were taking care of with this method, we can see that the mud flaps have come up really well, so rubber, if it's in good condition, is certainly going to take it and come up nicely, along with plastics as well. But in saying that, we also had some big issues with our plastics, because anything that's brittle will absolutely deteriorate and break. If we have a look at the fuel tank, we can see that one of our fuel lines has ruptured and disintegrated, and one of our T-pieces on the side of the chassis has also done the same thing. So this is also a factor that we've got to be aware of when dealing with something this old. Now of course you guys will be wondering the kind of cost that's involved in this. We hired it for 2 days as mentioned, and there were 3 companies that were available to us, being Sydney based. The first one was Cryonomic. Their rates for day 1 included a machine that was abrasive compatible, 300 kilos of dry ice and an air compressor that would power it all up. And that came to $1,700 plus GST. On day 2 without the ice, that was a further $850. The second option was ColdJet. ColdJet only had the option of weekly rentals. They wouldn't do it for a day or 2, and their rate for a machine that was just a machine only without abrasive components was $1,500 a week. Upon negotiation I was able to get that down to $1,200. For a machine that was capable of abrasive, it was a further $1,200 for the week on top. It was also $1,200 a week for the air compressor, and their ice was charged at $2 a kilo, which would have come to a total of $600. And then it comes to our third company, which is Dry Ice Tech. Now they do not supply a compressor, they are supplying the machine only. They also make their own ice. They were charging $2.50 a kilo plus GST for ice, and on negotiation they were willing to match ColdJet at $2 plus GST. So ultimately I decided that Dry Ice Tech was going to be the go for me. I bought 300 kilos of ice, I hired the machine for 2 days. It is not abrasive compatible, and I hired a 250 CFM compressor from Alcott plus a hose, and that came to around $300 plus GST per day. And of course the other thing that needs to be added is the cost of diesel for the compressor, and that came to around about $120 for the 2 days. And so off the top of my head, the approximate cost is around $2,200. Real price will be calculated on screen. And so we're looking at about $1,100 per day. Could I have done this in 1 day? Absolutely, yes I could, and I probably should have if I'm being honest with you. And so if it's something that you're considering, with the information that I've given you between these three companies, you can decide what's best for you. None of them knew that I was going to film. In fact, I didn't mention anything to Dry Ice Tech about filming this until after the ice and machine had been loaded to the trailer. And so it's going to be based on your needs as to who you decide that you want to go for. If you need something with abrasive, then by all means, go with Cryonomic. If you can get a couple of mates together and you can do a few jobs at once and you want to do the weekly rental, go with Cold Jet. If all you want is dry ice blasting for a day or two and you don't mind going to a second place to pick up the compressor, then go with Dry Ice Tech. And in regards to paint not sticking, if it's a little bit compromised, a perfect example is the differential. It looked pretty good, it was just covered in caked on grease and grime, but as we continued to blast that off, it had probably mixed in with paint a little bit, and as a result it ripped it right off. Could I have gotten a similar result, or maybe even a better result with degreaser? It's actually quite possible, so certain things like this need to be considered. And so now that all the information's out there, we need to return our hire equipment. It's been a bit of a win in some ways, but for the most part a bit of a fail, and I think that has really come down to the fact that I wanted it to do more than it realistically can do. I'm hoping that this has created a bit of transparency, so that way if you guys are thinking of using this equipment, you're using it for its intended purpose and you don't end up disappointed. So on the topic of would I use it again, realistically probably not. In terms of cleaning up our chassis and driveline, I probably could have achieved very similar results with degreaser. Certainly would have been a lot messier and would have taken a lot more time. In terms of stripping off paintwork, using paint stripper first, I've done that many a time with the pressure blaster, and this is the kind of stuff that most of you guys will have at home. There's no need to hire specialist equipment for doing that. But certainly if I wanted to clean a more modern vehicle, like say the VA Gear that you've seen on this channel, I would certainly consider using it on that. Anything pre-2000, probably not. There we are guys, that's a wrap for this episode. We are done and dusted. If you have any questions about the dry ice blasting process that I haven't addressed, make sure you drop them down in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. In the next episode we're going to have to address what we couldn't do this time, and that's going to be maybe looking at some vapor blasting, either hiring a professional or seeing if we can get the equipment ourselves. We need to tackle the cab, we need to tackle the tray and get it right, and we need to get the rest of our swinging panels under some primer. I think we're going to look at getting the chassis completely finished as well. We've got a bit of surface rust that we need to take care of. All of this needs to be addressed. That'll be in the next episode. Make sure you join us. Cheers guys. Get lost, fly. Oh, you suck. And dusted.